So today for International Women's Day, we're bringing you a special edition of Personally Speaking with this year's theme of Give to Gain. I'm stepping in for your usual host today, James. So I'm Vicki Suri. I'm one of the client account managers here at K2. And today I'm joined by the wonderful Hannah Dance, who heads up our operations team. So a year into Hannah's journey, we thought we'd catch up with her, see how things are going, talk through how she's got here and what's ahead in the future. So Hannah, shall we get on with things?
Yes, of course.
Wonderful. So tell us a bit about you and your role here at K2.
So for those who don't know me, I am Hannah Dance. I head up our operational teams in Europe. I oversee the service delivery, our team performance and our operational strategy across our European region. I've been with K2 now for 10 years. Just over 10 years.
Congratulations, yeah.
Thank you. So yeah, very much enjoying it still.
Fabulous. So stepping into the head of operations role, obviously a huge milestone. You've worked hard to get there. You've enjoyed every step of your journey, but what's the transition into leadership been like for you?
I feel like the transition into leadership itself, in terms of management, wasn't such a huge leap for me, where I was already managing a team as an operational lead in my previous role. But I feel like the approach and my mindset has definitely shifted. I feel like it's much more strategic. I was more in the weeds of the day-to-day in my operational lead role prior to doing what I'm doing now. And I think now, as head of department, the lens definitely widens. So it's much more strategic, and it's more about aligning the operational leads and empowering them as managers to be able to, I guess, keep at the heart of what we do every single day, and the importance of the service excellence on the ground. That real focus on service delivery with them.
Yeah, fabulous. Well, I know everyone was super excited when they found out that you were stepping into that role, and I know the huge impact you've made already. I missed my operation day, so obviously that was where I started, and our journey goes back a long time when I used to freelance for K2. So when you were phoning me up, checking my availability and all those kinds of things. So it's been a long journey. So obviously there's lots of wonderful women here at K2 in all different elements of the company doing different roles. What have they brought to you? How have they helped inspire you and bring you along on this journey?
I feel like for me, I can honestly put my hand on my heart and say there's so many women across the business that have either inspired me, influenced me, supported me in so many different ways. I think without a fair few of them, I wouldn't be where I am now. I think I can say that also, not even necessarily on a colleague level, there's been a lot of colleague level support, but also on a friendship level as well, and on a personal level. I think that's really nice. I can take that away. I definitely wouldn't be where I am today if it wasn't for multiple women within the business throughout all different types of roles up to senior leadership. And
it is so true what you say. You know, we do talk about ourselves as the K2 family, as corny as that may sound to some, but it's truly what we believe and how we work. You know, everyone does collaborate together so well. So yeah, it's great. So what's something that people completely misunderstand about something that you do in global mobility?
I think there's a general perception that global mobility is very logistic, and it's all about the logistics and the shipping and the paperwork and the flights and that kind of thing. But I think generally it's actually a lot more strategic than that in reality. And I feel like particularly in operations within this space in our industry, we need to be a lot more empathetic as well as efficient, but a lot more empathetic. And I feel like people don't necessarily realise the weight and the gravity of the emotional side of things.
Oh, absolutely.
We're obviously moving families, assignees at some of the most vulnerable times of their life, and I think we understand that it's super stressful for them. But equally at the same time, I think the perception from the outside in is that it's not necessarily as emotional as it can be.
And I think it really is. You know, the emotions run high. There's so many different elements, isn't there, to the wonderful jobs that we do. You know, the relocation, it's thinking about the spouses, the children, and what their pain points are. And there's so much in-depth detail that everybody needs to find out right from the offset to get things right. So yeah, you're completely right there. So what's a relocation moment that you'll never forget because it reminded you of why this work matters?
I feel like over a decade, I have so many.
Yeah.
So many stories that you can remember, so many people that you can remember. But I think for me in my position right now, I feel like I love seeing all the incredible feedback that the teams get, the real personalised messages and the heartwarming messages. It's lovely just to see.
Yeah, we do literally live for those, don't we? We love it when
all
they
the
come
time.
in.
They're like gold dust, but so amazing to see. I think particularly a standout one for me is many years ago when we had a really senior VIP family coming in into the UK, and I think it was just before Christmas time. And they were coming over with children. They had a new house in Surrey, and I think Amanda Lilly, who was head of operations at the time with Simon Price, who was a home search consultant at the time, had actually gone to the property prior to the family's arrival.
Story, yeah.
Sat outside in the car with keys at 5 a.m. with a Christmas tree that they'd gone and sourced themselves by hand somewhere, with all the decorations and everything to go in to prepare the house, I think, and make it Christmas ready for the family to arrive. And I think that really stood out for me quite early on as being like, wow, that's what K2 stand for. That's what K2 are. Yeah. And I think just that just really is like the epitome of our values.
And it is, and we do things like that so well. I'll never forget, in my relocation manager days, I had a family that were arriving from Africa really early in the morning, and it was their daughter's birthday, and they were arriving into a temporary accommodation, and they were flying through the night. And the first day in a new country, I arranged for a birthday cake to be in the apartment, ready for their arrival. And it's just little things, isn't it, that meant so much to them and the little girl, obviously. So it's just those little things that we do. Yeah, it's definitely because it is personal, isn't it, to us? So what's been the proudest win within your career so far?
I think professionally, stepping into this role, obviously. Yeah. And it sounds really cliche, but generally I say my journey as a whole, because I feel like where I came in with no industry experience at all a decade ago now, but as a relocation manager, progressing to a senior relocation manager and then managing a team, in my operational lead role to now head up the operations department, I feel like whilst I've done all of that, and when I started, I was much younger, I had no children, I wasn't married. So I feel like now, even becoming a mum and having 2 young boys and becoming a wife and juggling all of that whilst I've been on that journey, for me, it sounds really cliche, but I'm proud of the journey.
Yeah, exactly. And you haven't reached the destination yet. You're still very much on that journey, which is amazing. So we're looking at the proudest win. What's been the toughest moment as well in your career? And what did that moment teach you?
There's been lots of challenges, I think from the outside in, it can look like a really easy path and it looks like luck and it looks like fun, doesn't it? But I feel like there's lots of challenges. There's lots of silent challenges. There's lots of public challenges. But I think one of the main tough points for me, I think, was lockdown.
Yes.
And in the pandemic, and I feel like it's because in my personal life, I became a mum at that time, so I had lockdown maternity and that to juggle. But I feel like also in the operational lead role and managing my first team, that was still quite new. So we were onboarding a lot of people in lockdown. We had a lot of growth. We were hiring people, onboarding them, training them, growing our teams really quickly in operations, I guess within like a boom growth period. Yeah. And I feel like I learned a lot about management then, particularly vulnerability, flexibility.
Exactly, yes, yeah.
I learned to be a lot more human. And that's massively helped me, I think, from a management perspective and carrying that forward. I've learned a lot from that.
Yeah, no, I can imagine.
Tough.
Yeah, it was a terrible time for a lot of people, wasn't it? And managing that and managing those people through that, everyone was in different circumstances. So many different management skills would have been required during that time to get everybody through it. So,
and equally, it was such like a new world. So it was the hybrid working, remote working that so many people weren't used to before. We weren't used to it. We're navigating it in a completely new environment. So we're managing in an environment that we've never managed in before. We're growing in an environment that we've never grown in before. We're moving people in an environment that we've never moved.
And it was a tough environment to move people in as well, wasn't it? So yeah, and it was, as you say, there was a real boom. That was when I came in-house as well, was sort of literally post-lockdown, realised, right, need to be in there. I'm working for this company, but yeah, need to be in-house with them all now. And yeah, so it was a great time when we came out the other side, and see how the company's grown since then as well is amazing. So okay, what do women bring to operations, to the service delivery, that the industry definitely needs more of? You know, what do you see on a daily basis that the women that you're working with are doing that make things different?
I feel like for me, it's not necessarily a case of who does something better. I feel like it's what's possible and what can be achieved when there's more diversity represented at the table. So I feel like if in leadership in particular, the diversity in style in this industry is really key and valuable in global mobility, because I feel like we're moving such a global, diverse workforce every single day for any client. And I think that a diversity in representation is amazing there. I feel like in operations in particular, like I mentioned before, I think the empathy that's really needed, and understanding that it's much more emotional than just process driven logistics.
Yeah, no, brilliant, thank you. So K2 has been awarded a great place to work, and also a great place to work for women. So what is it that you see about the K2 culture that makes us different?
Do you know, I've always said that for me, the K2 culture is really unique. It's K2, everything that makes K2 is about our people. And I think even as we've grown, we've really deliberately tried to keep our culture and our values so embedded in our DNA as we've grown. And people are always at the heart of that. They're at the centre of our leadership decisions. It's all about the people. And I think in a culture where we've had to grow quickly, but at the same time try to maintain that, it's really unique. It's a hard task.
Yeah,
it's really unique, but I think we've done it really successfully so far.
I couldn't agree more. Yeah, it is unique, and it's difficult to explain, isn't it? It's because it is a very, very unique culture.
And whenever I'm talking to a client, I say, "Oh, this is going to sound really cheesy," but and I really don't like that. Yeah. We are a family phrase. I personally don't like that, but I say that it is that.
Yeah, I know.
And it's hard to explain.
It's the corniness of it.
But it's true.
Yeah, very much so. Okay, so go back to your younger self. What would you tell younger Hannah now, coming into the industry, first day? What would be your one true bit of advice that would shine through?
I remember it well. I do remember the first day extremely well. I think for me, I think confidence is grown through action. Yeah. So I feel like, don't be afraid to take the step, even if you don't feel 100% ready yet. And also, I know we're very much about embracing failure here, but it's really important that we remember that we're not going to get everything right 100% of the time. No one is. We're human.
We're human, yeah.
So don't be afraid to make the mistakes. And I feel like in the moments that we do make those mistakes, that's where the most opportunity is for growth and innovation and new ideas.
Yeah.
And for me, I think that's the most important thing.
Well, it's pushing. We all like to push us. Well, we don't like to push ourselves out of our comfort zone, but we realise how important it is. And I think there's many a times you will have done that over the 10 years to get where you are today, because it's coming outside of that zone where you grow and you become the next version of yourself. So
I was going to say, if you're sat a little bit outside your comfort zone all of the time, that's where you're growing, and it feels uneasy.
Yeah.
And I still get that now. I still get that feeling in my stomach of I come to work and a little bit uneasy here, a little bit uneasy here, but it's push and push yourself.
Yeah, very much so. And it is, we all do things that we have to push ourselves really to see that end result and things, but it's worth it when we do it. So
100%.
So yeah, it's clear to see with everything that you've done. Thanks so much for your time today, Hannah. It's been great talking to you.
Thank you.
So happy International Women's Day to everybody out there. Keep giving, keep supporting, and keep showing up for every woman out there in your life, whether it's personal or in your work life. Thank you for your time. If we've inspired you today or you'd like to inspire anybody else, please share. And that's it until next time. Thanks ever so much.